What's going on, everyone? It's Adam and Craig with Grandstand Golf. In this European Tour show, we're doing our DFS picks and sleepers for the 2021 Saudi International something sponsor.
Powered by SoftBank Investment Advisors.
Too long. I wasn't even
I was going to say, rarely do you get the powered by into our show here.
I had to go down to small font for that one. But yeah, we're again in the desert. We hop over to the Royal Greens Golf and Country Club at the King Abdullah Economic City in Saudi Arabia. Not much around here. It's a new course, new area, new development. Everything about this is new.
It's if you don't know where that is, because I didn't, it's on the east coast of the Red Sea. Yeah. So, western edge of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I mean, when I was looking at weather, it was hard to find even weather for this area. I used Thuwal, Thuwal. It seems to be a little bit south of there. It's on the sea, so I thought it might be a good wind comparison. But looking at the course, we've had this tournament for 2 years now. This is the third edition. It's a par 70, 7,000 yards, 6,400 meters. Dustin Johnson won in the first event 2019, 19 under. He came runner-up to Graham McDowell in 2020 with a score. Graham McDowell won with 12 under. Anything jumping out there, Craig, with a couple years of history that we do have?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to know whether it's, drivers of the ball should be favored because Dustin Johnson's been so good here, or just simply the fact that he's Dustin Johnson, so he's going to come over and win tournaments. I mean, I guess the one thing, it does look like there might be a little bit of wind. I don't know yet whether it's going to favor one side or the other. But just something to keep in mind. Maybe if you're doing more than one, stack opposite waves, but
for sure. If you're doing a couple entries, I would do an AM PM stack for different days. Again, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, wherever you are in the world, I would check the weather again closer to when they tee up to see if there is any significant advantage, but it definitely does look like there's going to be some.
Yeah, and we'll be doing our live show tomorrow evening in North America. It's 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Over in Europe, I'm not sure what we're looking at there. But yeah, so if we'll have one last look at weather there. If you are interested in that, come check that out and let us know in the chat, and we'll bring it up.
Should we jump into our
Let's
picks?
Do it.
So, like most European Tour shows, we're going picks and sleepers, 2 picks each, 2 sleepers each. Craig, I think we have completely different kind of strategies here. I think you have to go up top. I think you need Dustin. I think you need one of Dustin or Bryson. I'm going Bryson. So Bryson DeChambeau is my first pick, 11,200 on DraftKings. He's second to Dustin Johnson, obviously. His field rank, so his rankings in the field for the last 6 months. He's first stroke seeing off the tee, as we would expect, plus 1.25. Fourth stroke seeing tee to green, 1.32. So obviously from those numbers, we see that his weakness is approach. Right now, he is struggling with his approach. He's still positive, but it is a weakness of his compared to the other parts of his game. And then as always, he's been a strong putter for years and years and years. He's fifth stroke gained putting, plus 0.65. I think if it is at all a driver's course, I know it's short, but if he can pick it apart, if he can have wedges, and if he can get the drivable par 4s, which he's seen in the past here, long 18 par 5, I mean, there's still, even though it's a short course, you have advantages with length. So I think he's a good pivot off DJ. And then the one time he did play here, 2019, much different Bryson. Still USM champ and a talented Bryson.
What, 50 pounds different?
Yeah, not the beefed up Bryson.
We're talking 50 pounds less Bryson back then.
Yeah. He was 68, 65. Love to see those numbers. I think he comes here. He has so much win equity. I really like Bryson this week.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think there's a couple things. Even if it isn't a course that hugely favors drivers, I think that Bryson DeChambeau is just the second best player in this field. Like, regardless, yes, a lot of that is because he's a really good driver of the golf ball. But, I mean, his results have just spoken for themselves at both courses that they should and then courses that you're like, the U.S. Open, he wasn't supposed to do well there, and he kind of showed that it didn't matter. He's going to look at it his way, and it's going to work. So, the one thing that I think that there might be argument is whether you do need one of these top guys, because I think the amount of win equity that you could give to, say, just DJ and Bryson is huge.
Yeah.
But the amount of ownership they're going to suck up is also huge. So I'm going to go for my 2 picks here. I'm going to go a little bit lower down.
You're all about balanced. I'm high.
We'll see.
Low,
So I think I'm going to put in
balanced.
one balance, but then the other guy who's not a pick of mine that I think should strongly be considered is Tony Finau, because I think with how much DJ and Bryson will attract because of how how much they stand out. I think Tony Finau in his recent form could be a little bit underlooked.
Yeah.
But I'm going even more balanced than that. I am looking at Christiaan Bezuidenhout. He comes in 9,100 on DraftKings. That's 11th priced there. His form is just really, really good. 6 straight finishes. He's been in the top 22. That's including back-to-back wins in November, December. So I feel like, maybe if people are in North America, they may not appreciate how good he has been over the past year. I mean, he's up to something like 35th, 33rd maybe in the world rankings. But so his 2020 stats, he was first on the European Tour in strokes gained total, gaining 2 strokes a round. He, a little bit different than a lot of guys we typically think of as sort of the dominant players. He wasn't doing it just tee to green. He was good tee to green, gained almost a stroke tee to green, 21st overall in that stat. And now I should say these are stats not for this field. These are stats for the European Tour.
Right.
But then finally putting, he was gaining over a stroke putting, which was 4th on the European Tour. So strokes gained total. I'm saying he was first. That's not counting DJ, so it's not necessarily first in this field. But I think that potentially his value is a little bit underrated here. He was 21st here last year, so he does have some good history at the course. He was coming off a 2nd place last year, but I think overall his form going in this year is much better in terms of a longer period of success. I just really like him. I think a lot of these guys who with the amount of of non-European Tour guys that are in this tournament, I think some guys like him might be a little bit under-owned. So that's really my game theory on why to play a Bezuidenhout type guy this week.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And even before his 2 wins late last year, like he was in the majors, he was still a top 50 player in the world. So it's not like he came from nowhere. He has all the chops, and then he's just been exceptional as of late, like very, very, very good. I mean, there's no reason not to play him, and I think you're right. I think he could be a little bit sneaky because of the amount of American players and DFS kind of maybe swaying a little bit more to names that they recognize.
I think if people are trying to put in 2 names up higher, then I think these guys will get neglected. But I think if not, people might put in, say, a DJ, and then they'll come down here for their second one. And so if one of the things I'm looking at is you start around here and then you go very balanced and you get 6 good players in.
I like it. But if you do go up top and you want a second pick, the second guy I like into lineups, Sergio Garcia, 9,300 on DraftKings. He's 10th there. So I'm going right back to Sergio. I was a little bit torn between Thomas Pieters, who I love. He's one of my boys. He's been playing well. He has a broken finger, but it hasn't seemed to affect him early in 2021. But I just can't ignore what Sergio has been doing and the stats that Sergio has. So his strokes gained tee to green. If you go back 6 months in this field, he ranks 10th, plus 1.17. If we just go in the past 3 months, he ranks 4th, 1.61. So he's getting better the more recent play. It's not like his win is screwing this number. He's been playing really good recently. Last week in Dubai, first in strokes gained off the tee, plus 1.53. Second strokes gained tee to green, 2.96. Tournament history, it's a mixed bag here, Craig. 2019 DQ. He has this kind of swipe at everything in the bunker. I think the official disqualification was something on the greens, but it wasn't a good weekend for Sergio. But he made the cut. He was he was there. And then 2020 came back. I think that's good. If this was 2020, I'd be worried about like the demons of this course, but he's come back. He's got 6. I again, like, if you're thinking it's going to be off the tee and approach play, I love Sergio this week. I don't think, like, I think he's going to pop again. I think he can.
Yeah,
win
I think
again.
the real question for me is like how much probability of DQ to factor into. No, I like Sergio. You know, I had been all over Sergio when I think his price was free falling. You know, around the time actually that he won in the fall.
Yeah.
I do. You know, there's a lot of names around there that I like. So I don't know for sure whether or not he'll be in any of my lineups, but I definitely do like him as a play. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. My next one here, and this is, you know, because I like a lot of guys around the price range, this is one of them. I don't know how many weeks in a row that I brought up Robert MacIntyre. It seems like it's every week.
I'm going to play him. I can't believe we didn't talk about him last week.
Oh, we didn't talk about him last week.
We didn't. I couldn't believe it. He's in my lineup.
Yeah, he's in my lineup too. Okay, so he comes in 8,900. You know, this is because of how many Americans are coming over. You don't usually see him 13th priced, or we're not going to see a whole lot more of that as we move forward in the European Tour season. His form last 7 is awesome. His worst finish in those 7 starts is 23rd. He's got 4 of those 7 are top 6 finishes, including his win in the Cyprus Showdown, which was that, you know, weird format event. But yeah, I mean, even aside from that win, he's got 3 other top 6 finishes, including 3rd place last week. 2020 stats, you know, another guy who I think if you don't know about him, you don't realize how good he was through 2020. 9th total strokes gain, 8th tee to green, 7th off the tee. So, you know, a little bit more of the typical thing we see in a lot of top players as compared to Bezuidenhout, where Robert MacIntyre, he's great off the tee. And then he's good with his ball striking elsewhere. And then his short game is more the one that will show up some weeks and not in other weeks. But then I was looking at it. So, you know, you look at his tee to green, he's obviously over the course of 2020, he was losing putting, losing 0.08 putting. But over the past 3 months, he's actually been gaining. So we've seen this really good play from him, and it's coincided with this positive, you know, over a third a stroke on the green. So if that continues, then I think that you're really looking at a guy who's putting, you know, he's shoring up his weaknesses and he's putting the pieces together, and he's going to be competitive for, you know, until we see him not be competitive. I'm going to continue to plug him in.
Yeah. Talked about him at length on our podcast this past week. He moved into the top 50 in the world. I'm going to keep playing him until anything cracks, but he seems so rock solid right now. He's now the top ranked lefty in the world, I believe.
Ooh,
so
didn't know that one.
Bobby Mack doing his thing. I like it, Craig. Okay. I went really high. I gave you Bryson. That means I had to kind of scrape below here. I'm going for my sleepers. I'm going way, way below here. So starting with Sean Crocker, 6,700 on DraftKings. He ranks 70th. Again, looking at the 2020 Euro stats. Again, this isn't the field. This is the whole European Tour. 18th strokes gained off the tee, plus 0.54. 12th strokes gained approach, just 0.76 there. Last 5 events, good form coming in. He has 3 top 25s, including a tie for second, I think, is Alfred Dunhill Championship, and 1 missed cut. So 4 to 5, he's made the cut. Previous Saudi International events, he has a missed cut on the number 2019. 2020, he's 38th. He's only 24. So that missed cut on the number was when he's 22. So this is a super talented kid. Great ball striker.
Yeah, really good ball striker.
Only 24. Great recent performance. It's just, I mean, there's not, in terms of guys under 7,000, there's not much more solid resume.
Well, and like, I think that, you know, GPP plays, you're looking for guys with upside value. And I think that's what you're getting here. So, you know, if you're going to have a really chalky play like a DJ or a Bryson, you're going to have to come down here. And if you want to win larger GPPs, you got to look for guys that can potentially get top 10s, top 5s, that kind of thing. And he's one of them. Yeah.
Exactly.
I won't have to go that far down, though, I hope, because I am looking at balanced builds this week. So, you know, again, I'm looking at guys I feel like that I bring up every week, but I just can't figure out why this guy's price isn't changing. Antoine Rozner, he comes in 7,500. He's 33rd most expensive. He's super steady over the last 11. He hasn't missed a cut. His average finish has been 18.5, and four of those 11 are top 10. So it's not that he's just making cuts and like hang around. He's getting up there. He won a few weeks back. 2020 stats.
But that's not just a 3 tournament sample size. That's 11
that's like a few months of
yeah.
top 20 play that he's averaging, you know.
And he's still ranked 33rd in pricing. It's kind of crazy.
So 2020 stats, full season long, he was 4th in scoring, but fell to 10th in strokes gained total. So obviously, the ones that were the hardest scoring events, we'd have people that came over for those ones. Similar to a lot of the guys that I like in terms of consistency, especially, he's really good tee to green. He's 12th tee to green, gains 1.17 there. He's had success in the Middle East. This stretch over the past, I think it's 4 tournaments. That's included his win. It's included a top 10 last week. So, it's not like it's determinative or I'm not going to put too much weight into it because it's such a small sample size, but still it's something that, it's a little bit extra on the scale that to me makes him a good play.
Especially when you're looking at potentially PGA players coming over for one tournament and coming back. I don't know. I haven't looked at that price range, but maybe Kevin Na or like those kind of guys.
Well, Na's more expensive still than this, but But
I mean, the solid play in this area over the past month, you can't ignore that. Like that's
well,
big.
And part of my whole rationale on why to play, why maybe not to just invest fully in these American guys coming over. Like we look at what happened to JT when he came over. We didn't see JT that we have seen for months on the PGA Tour. Whether it's jet lag, whether it's acclimatizing himself to whatever. You're not necessarily going to get the same results that you see from them week in, week out on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, completely agree. My 4th and final pick, my second sleeper, Guido Migliozzi, the young Italian, 6,500 on DraftKings. He ranks 86th there. So his 2020 European Tour stats, 29th strokes gained off the tee, plus 4.6. Obviously, I'm looking at off the tee. I think that just sets up everything on this course. A stat you love, Craig, greens under regulation. He ranks 25th there, 0.80. Looking at his 2020s in this tournament, he missed the cut by 1 stroke. But if you look at his stats, he was 3rd in strokes gained tee to green at plus 2.70. He barely hit any fairways, so 43% hit fairways. So he was right there, and his ball striking is there. He just wasn't able to get it done. Obviously, some issues on the greens as well. This is a young talent who can pop at any time. He has 2 2019 European Tour wins. Both came without top 25s in the previous 3 tournaments. So it's not like he comes into form and then like capitalizes on the good form and he gets a win.
Sounds like he's a bit of a Emiliano Grillo type.
A little bit of a Grillo. He was tied for 44th last week. He's missed 2 cuts before that. At 6,500, a guy that can pop and seriously win. He can go and win. Like his ceiling is super high.
When you have that ball striking and tee to green play, then you get a putter that week, and you can win tournaments.
But when you're going up Dustin and Bryson, and you need to fill the bottom of your roster, this isn't necessarily a safe play, but I love the talent. I love the young talent, especially, and the fact that there's how to win. And against these guys, it's not like it was a challenge tour or a different tour. It was on the European Tour where he's getting these wins.
Yeah, we're talking penny stocks here, but you never know. Sometimes those penny stocks pay off.
I like it.
My last one here, I have given you Rozner, and I'm going back to Laurie Canter. So
love it.
Another one who comes in at 7,500. I told you I'm looking balanced this week. I think this is as far down as I need to go. He's 33rd most expensive. If Rozner is the very, very safe, steady play, Cantor's maybe a little bit more volatile. His last 11, he has 7 top 15. So volatile, but pretty darn, a lot of success still with his volatility.
High
7
finishes,
top 15s. 5 of those are top 5. So, he is getting up there at the end of tournaments. He has 3 missed cuts. So, whereas Rozner, we haven't seen him miss a cut in his last 11 starts, Canter has missed a few cuts. 2020 stats. What are we looking for in GPP plays? He's good off the tee. European Tour, he was first overall, gained 0.9 off the tee. Maybe not with that off the tee. You'd kind of hope that tee to green number's a little bit higher, but he's getting 20.
Sure.
He's 20th there. He's gaining basically a stroke tee to green. You were just talking about greens under regulation. He's basically getting one of those per round. 0.98. That was 4th on the European Tour. And then I think one of these things that you always look for, Rozner, he's really good at avoiding bogeys. Laurie Canter, he's really good at making birdies. So you get 4.5 birdies per round. That's 3rd on the European Tour. It's just, to me, that's why you're more volatile. It's because he's out there making birdies every week. It's just, is he going to avoid the bogeys? And that's
DFS points.
Yeah, exactly.
That's DraftKings points. It's just birdie par, or birdie bogey. That's better than par.
Yeah.
It's just points.
So I think, both my guys here, both my sleepers come in at the same price value. I think if you're looking for the safer one, you want to look at Rozner. If you're looking for potentially the more volatile one, you want to look at Canter.
Yeah. So obviously I like Canter. I think anybody that's been paying attention to the European Tour, there's going to be ownership. I think he's going to get a lot of ownership. I think he could be one of the highest owns in the field. It seems like a great fit at that price. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, like and comment. Let us know who your favorite play is and favorite sleeper for the Saudi International.
Good luck, guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.